Are you in the middle of your move to cloud? Have you thought about print? How will you move your print servers to Azure? You don't need to. Let's talk about eliminating print servers using Universal Print. My name is Saurabh Bansal, a program manager with the Universal Print team at Microsoft. With me, I have my colleague, Jimmy.
Thanks, Saurabh. Hi, everyone. My name is Jimmy Wu, and I'm also a program manager on the same Universal Print team. In this session, we'll go over 3 core design principles of Universal Print and how it can eliminate on-premise infrastructures such as your print servers. First is the security design. Second, how we streamline the deployment and printer management. Third, keeping the user's experience familiar with Windows 10. To get started, let me paint this scenario for you. Imagine you're an IT admin waiting for a flight at the airport, or more realistically, being stuck at home right now. You get an alert on your phone regarding some problem with your printer system. Immediately, you pop open your laptop and connect to check in on what's going on, without even ever needing to worry about your Wi-Fi connection or if it's VPN connected or not. How all of this possible, you ask? We'll dive into this in this session a little bit later. Let's first start with a quick overview of Universal Print service. Universal Print is a cloud service built on the Microsoft Azure, and your printers are registered in your Azure's tenant. As IT admins, you control who has access to those printers and what printer capabilities are available. Users then get the benefit of being able to discover the printers nearest to them, install them, and use them immediately without ever having to worry about any printer drivers. And you also have, as admins, access to print job reports that tells you who is the heaviest user in your organization or which printers are being loaded the most. As mentioned, Universal Print is built on Microsoft Azure. This means that Azure AD is your one source of identity management. It also means that your print jobs are stored securely on the cloud in the same storage service as your emails and SharePoint documents. By the way, wanting to deploy printers on your client's devices? Universal Print got you covered as well with Microsoft Endpoint Manager, or commonly known as Intune. And what if you need to build your own web app for line of business application? With Universal Print, it is integrated with the broader Microsoft Graph API, such that you can retrieve printers, get printer statuses, and submit print jobs, among other things. Now, let's revisit the scenario I described earlier about being stuck at the airport. How can you be confident that the connection from the laptop to Universal Print is secure? Universal Print applies the zero trust security model to all connections, be it the client device or a printer. I won't go into depth about what Zero Trust Network is in this session, but the basic idea is that all users and connections are untrusted. Access is granted dynamically per request based on a common set of security rules. So what does this mean for Universal Print? As mentioned previously, printers are registered with Azure Active Directory and are given an identity similar to your user account. Each request, both for clients or printers, are authenticated and checked for permissions, regardless of which network it was connected to, even over an airport Wi-Fi network. This means that printers can now be isolated in its own network segment without ever having access to your corporate network. This reduces the possibility of hacks to gain sensitive data such as quarterly reports, tax information, customer info, or even patent ideas, or to use a previously hacked printer to gain access to your company's network. And because of the integration with Azure AD, Universal Print does not need any on-premise infrastructure such as Active Directory for user identity or print servers for print queue management, since everything is now in the cloud and managed within the cloud. The added benefit is that when you turn on multi-factor authentication or single sign-on in your tenant, it automatically applies to users connecting to Universal Print. As for printers, because they now have their own identity and access token, enforcing zero trust access based on printer's identity is now possible. This removes the traditional attacks such as spoofing the printer's MAC address or IP address to gain access to sensitive data. If we come back to a scenario of using Universal Print at the airport, Zero Trust security model assumes all connections originate from untrusted networks. So what does this mean for Universal Print? Universal Print enforces all connections coming from either client devices or printers to be authenticated and authorized, and ensuring that the connection itself are encrypted using TLS 1.2. This means that even on unsecure airport Wi-Fi networks, each connection to Universal Print are encrypted and secure. Additionally, one of the key benefits of Universal Print is that printers, be it Universal Print ready printers or a printer proxied through the Universal Print's connector software, the printers are connected from behind the company's firewall out to Universal Print over port 443. This means that you don't need any type of DMZ or opening up some form of printer listening port or anything like that. So far, we have covered securing the network connection in each individual network request. I want to reinforce that these apply to end users as well. Additionally, as administrators, you have the power to control end user access for each printer, be it you want to grant everybody in your tenant access, or select users, or even select user groups. Universal Print offers you that flexibility to meet your business needs. If you want to go one step further and ensure that your print administrators do not have rights to other parts of the system, such as creating users, user groups, or managing applications that your business needs, we created a new role called Print Administrator within the Azure AD for this purpose. To sum up, Universal Print is designed from the ground up with security in mind. And all connections to Universal Print are encrypted using TLS 1.2. Permissions and validation are done at a per connection and caller level, regardless of which network the source came from, including printers. And now I'll hand off to my colleague, Saurabh.
Thanks, Jimmy. From security to ease of use, Universal Print makes the experience, be it of the print administrator or a print user, intuitive and easy. How? Let's see. Universal Print is now part of Microsoft 365 for users on Business Premium, Enterprise, and Education subscriptions. With public preview announcement in July, at no additional cost, customers can enable Universal Print themselves. Microsoft 365 customers can go to Purchase Services under their Microsoft 365 admin portal and navigate to Universal Print add-on. This will enable 300,000 user licenses for 1 year with Microsoft 365 subscription. In future, when Universal Print will GA and included with Microsoft 365, then all corresponding Microsoft 365 customers will automatically be enabled to find Universal Print in their subscription. Once you have Universal Print, all printers that you register, be it Universal Print ready, be it connected through the connectors, or be it the single pull print queues, are visible and can be managed through a single console in Azure portal. From here, you can share your printers, you can assign permissions, manage defaults, or even view and cancel print jobs across your whole printer fleet. If you have repetitive tasks, you can use PowerShell to script those tasks. These tasks can do jobs in bulk as well, like sharing printers across all your organization. What does an experience look like for a print user? How hard is it to search and add a universal printer? Not at all. User experience to add a printer on a Windows 10 device remains similar to other printers that they have been adding before. It's actually better. Printers are now shown in order based on the geolocation and proximity to the user. Printers in the same building as the user will appear on top. There is no installation of print drivers. Yes, you heard it right. Universal Print works without drivers on Windows. It uses industry standards IPP and MOPRIA to standardize printing. We hope that very soon there will be more platforms and web applications that will be able to send print jobs to Universal Print directly. And again, they won't need any drivers. They will do so by using the industry standards IPP and MOPRIA. Universal Print integrates deep into the existing print system on Windows 10. Printers are available across all print dialogues, modern or traditional. Users can print using Universal Print from any browser, modern Windows Store applications, Adobe, Office, or even old Win32 apps like Notepad. Users would select Universal Print Printer and corresponding print options before clicking Print. Once a job is submitted, its status can be monitored in the print queue just like any other print queue on Windows 10 device. Earlier, we mentioned the airport scenario, where an admin can manage printers from anywhere securely without VPN. Even a user can print securely without VPN, be it from airport or from home. Universal Print is a product which is supported from Microsoft, even during preview. In other words, if you notice any issue or face a challenge while deploying Universal Print, reach out to Microsoft support by logging a support ticket using Azure Support Portal. Recently, we announced support for Microsoft Endpoint Manager. Organizations want to automatically add printers to the Windows devices. Users expect printers to come pre-configured on the Windows devices. They want to leave it to their IT administrators to identify the best printers for them. Ability to pre-configure printers saves on help desk calls about printer installation and gives IT departments more control. You can download the printer provisioning tool from Microsoft Download Center and then use this tool with the Endpoint Manager to pre-provision printers on the user's devices. Let's do a quick demo on how the printer provisioning tool works. Welcome to the demo where we will deploy printers using Microsoft Endpoint Manager. First, download the Universal Print provisioning tool from the Microsoft Download Center. Download contains 3 files. I've put them in a folder on my device. Let's check the folder. In the folder, I'll select the file with an extension Intune Win. This is a Windows app Win32 package that needs to be deployed on all Windows 10 machines where printers need to be provisioned. Package installs a lightweight background service which will detect and add printers. Let's go to the Endpoint Manager to deploy this package. We are now in Endpoint Manager under All Apps. Let's click on Add. Under App Type, let's select Windows App Win32. In Step 1, under Select File, let's select the Intune Win file that we downloaded from the Download Center. For publisher, which is a mandatory field, let's select Microsoft. All the other optional fields in this wizard, I'm going to skip. You would notice that all the important fields like install and uninstall command have been pre-populated. I'm going to leave them as it is. For install behavior, it is selected as system, since this tool needs to be provisioned for all the devices that need to have the printers pre-provisioned, and it needs to be at a system level. I will leave the other fields and click Next. Under Requirements, I'll select operating system as both 32 and 64-bit. And then for minimum operating system, I'll select Windows 10 1903, which is a prerequisite for universal print. For detection rules, let's go with Manual and click on Add. Select the rule type as MSI. Skip the dependencies. Under Assignments, let's add the devices where the printer pre-provisioning tool needs to be provisioned. Let's click on Add Group. I have created a device group for this demo. I'm going to select that and click Next. You can review all your settings and click on Create. The printer provisioning tool has been added to Endpoint Manager. Endpoint Manager will then deploy this package across all the Windows 10 clients which were selected in our device group. Once these devices are ready, you can add printers of your choice across all these Windows 10 client devices. Let's think about the printers that need to be pre-provisioned on these devices. Let's go back to our downloaded files. That there is a zip file which contains some samples. Let's unzip this file. Under the unzipped folder, there are two files. One of the files is printer.csv. Let's open it. This file has three columns: shared ID, shared name, and is default. The shared ID and shared name can be retrieved from the Universal Print portal or the PowerShell. These are the details which a printer will have once it's shared with the users. Let's retain the header and clear the examples from the sample file. Let's go to Universal Print and get the printers that we desire to put in this file. In the Universal Print portal, we are on the Printers tab, which lists all the printers. I will choose a printer which is already shared with the users and put that in the CSV file. I'll copy the share ID and put it in the CSV file. Now I'll copy the shared name of the same printer and put it in the CSV file again. I'll also add one more printer. Copy the shared ID, followed by the share name. I'll also mark the first printer as the default printer. Now I'll close the printers.csv and save it. Along with printers.csv, we have another file called installpolicy.cmd. This is a command script that will be used to copy the printers.csv on Windows 10 clients in its appropriate folder. On the command prompt, I am already in the directory of the tool. And let's launch the Intune WinAppUtil.exe. Under the source folder, let's get the folder where both our install_policy.cmd and printers.csv are stored. Under the setup file, let's point to our install_policy.cmd. For output folder, let's enter a folder where we will want the output to be stored. Since this folder does not exist, the tool asks for a confirmation. Let's say yes and select the catalog folder as no. The tool has now generated the Intune Win app package. Let's go to our Explorer and check. We have the Intune Win file that we need to deploy to all the users who need to have the printers pre-provisioned. Let's go to Endpoint Manager to deploy this package. Under Endpoint Manager, we are back to the All Apps UI. We click on Add. Select App Type as Win32 App. Under Files, let's select the Intune Win file that we just created. Which was install_policy.intunewin. Under Publisher, I will continue using Microsoft. For install command, use the install_policy.cmd with two parameters. The first parameter tells the utility to add printers.csv in the user folder or a device folder. Since we will be adding printers at a user level, I'm going to use the user level folder. Second parameter tells us whether we want to add the printers.csv or we want to remove the printers.csv. For adding printers.csv, we use install. For uninstall command, we will use the exactly same command with the second parameter as uninstall. Install behavior will be users, and then device restart behavior will be no specific action. Requirements will be both 32 and 64-bit with Windows 10 1903 as operating system. For detection rules, let's say manually configure detection rules. Click on Add. Since we are copying files, we will select the rule type as file. Path will be the user's specific folder where printers.csv is expected to be copied. For file or folder, we will choose printers.csv, and detection method will be selected as file or folder exists. We'll skip the dependencies, and under assignments, we'll select the users to whom the printers need to be pre-provisioned. Let's click on Add a Group, and let's select our sample group for this demo. We can review the settings and then click on Create. Both our Intune Win packages are now in Endpoint Manager. Let's go to a Windows client and see how these printers get installed automatically. I have a Windows 10 device on which I expect the two Intune Win packages to be installed and deploy printers. In Endpoint Manager, I check that these two devices have those two packages installed. Let's go to the device. Logging into the device. First of all, I check that the Universal Printer Provisioning Service has been installed. Next, I check if the printers.csv has been copied to the users folder. The folder here is app data, and I see there's a folder for Universal Printer Provisioning files. I look at the configuration, and there we have the printers.csv. Let's now go to the printers and see what's going on. Under the printers, I noticed that there are two printers that are installed, which are part of the printers.csv. And the first one has been set as default. That concludes my demo. Thank you so much. You can start deploying Universal Print today. Universal Print is deployed globally across different Azure data centers to serve the customers from within the region they are in. We will continue to add more data centers as we march towards GA. Multiple partners have announced collaboration with Universal Print to support their solutions. Now, those solutions are real and already in the market. Solutions that replace Universal Print connector or remove it altogether are now available. We now have printer updates that make some of the existing printers work directly with Universal Print. There are follow me or pull print queues that leverage Universal Print and can be enabled today. It's an exciting time. With a variety of solutions to try from and choose from, it's time to get started. We invite you to extend your interest in Universal Print. To learn more about Universal Print, set up a pilot and try it out. Setup is easy and quick. We have heard from our preview customers it takes only a few minutes to set it up and get going. We are listening. Once you have tried Universal Print, provide your feedback. How you like it? What are your needs? Because we would want to evolve with your needs as a top priority. Thank you for your time today. To learn more, visit the link on your screen. We will see you there.